Samuel was a young man full of dreams. He had just secured a promotion at work, bought his first car, and life was finally looking bright. But more than anything, Samuel was in love. Her name was Grace, a beautiful, mysterious woman who had swept into his life like a gentle breeze. Their relationship was fast, intense, and passionate, and within months, Samuel was convinced she was the one. He decided to take the bold step, marriage. Before making it official, Samuel felt the need to seek counsel from his pastor, Pastor Emmanuel, a man of wisdom and deep spiritual insight. Pastor Emmanuel had been like a father to him, guiding him through many life challenges, and Samuel trusted him completely. On the day of their meeting, Samuel sat in the pastor's modest office, a place he had visited many times before. As he explained his intentions of marrying Grace, the pastor's face darkened with concern. He listened intently, and after Samuel finished, there was a long pause. "Samuel, I don't usually say this," Pastor Emmanuel began cautiously, "but something doesn't sit right in my spirit about this woman. Have you prayed deeply about this decision?" Samuel shifted uneasily in his seat. "I've prayed, Pastor. I love her. She's everything I've ever wanted in a wife." The pastor's eyes narrowed as he leaned forward. "I've had dreams, Samuel. Dreams about you. And every time, there's this darkness surrounding her. I'm telling you, something is wrong. Don't marry Grace." Samuel's heart skipped a beat. This wasn't the advice he expected. "But, Pastor." "Listen to me, son," the pastor interrupted, his voice urgent. "I believe this woman is not who she says she is. The Spirit is warning me. You must break off this relationship." Conflicted, Samuel left the pastor's office, his mind swelling with doubt. How could the pastor say such things? Grace had been nothing but kind, loving, and supportive. He couldn't understand why the man of God would issue such a stern warning. In the weeks that followed, the pastor's words lingered, but Samuel's love for Grace was stronger. Against his better judgment and Pastor Emmanuel's counsel, Samuel went ahead with the wedding. It was a grand affair, filled with laughter, music, and the celebration of what seemed like a perfect union. Grace looked radiant in her gown, and Samuel was filled with joy as they exchanged vows. But almost immediately after the wedding, strange things began to happen. The first sign was subtle, a change in Grace's demeanor. She became secretive, staying up late at night, murmuring in a language Samuel couldn't understand. He would often wake to find her standing by the window, staring out into the darkness, her lips moving in silent chants. Samuel tried to confront her about it, but Grace brushed it off as stress from the wedding. Soon, Samuel's life started unraveling. His promotion at work was revoked without explanation. He lost a major client and began experiencing bouts of inexplicable illness that left him weak and bedridden for days. His once thriving finances crumbled before his eyes. And through it all, Grace remained eerily calm, almost detached. Desperate, Samuel returned to Pastor Emmanuel, who welcomed him with a knowing but sorrowful look. "It's not too late, Samuel," the pastor said. "But you must fight for your life now." Confused and terrified, Samuel demanded answers. "What is happening to me? What's wrong with my wife?" The pastor took a deep breath. "Grace isn't what she seems. She's from the marine kingdom, sent to destroy you. She's a spiritual agent, and unless you sever this bond, she'll ruin everything. The darkness I saw, it's real." Samuel's blood ran cold. He didn't believe in such things, agents from the marine kingdom. It sounded like a nightmare. But everything in his life had begun to feel like one. He went home that night and confronted Grace, but the woman he loved was gone. In her place stood something else. Her eyes, once warm and full of love, were now icy and distant. She laughed, a chilling sound that echoed through the room. "You should have listened to your pastor, Samuel," she said, her voice dripping with malice. "I wasn't sent to love you. I was sent to destroy you." Samuel stumbled back, fear coursing through his veins. The air in the room grew heavy, oppressive, as Grace's form seemed to shift and shimmer in the dim light. Panicked, Samuel ran. He didn't stop until he reached Pastor Emmanuel's house. In tears, he begged for help. Pastor Emmanuel wasted no time. "There's still hope, Samuel. But you must be prepared for spiritual warfare. This battle is not just physical, it's spiritual. We must pray, fast, and break the chains that bind you to her." For days, Samuel and Pastor Emmanuel prayed together. It was a grueling process, filled with sleepless nights, strange occurrences, and moments when Samuel felt he was on the brink of losing his mind. But slowly, the dark cloud over his life began to lift. Grace's hold over him weakened, and eventually, she vanished from his life as mysteriously as she had appeared. Samuel had narrowly escaped a fate worse than death. But he learned a powerful lesson: sometimes, what looks like love can be the deadliest trap of all. In the end, he was grateful for Pastor Emmanuel's wisdom, but he would never forget how close he had come to losing everything.